Hello family, it's Jameel Thomas here, also known as Crunch. And today we're going to sit down and talk about food. Food is something that you have to indulge in every day, something you have to eat in order to sustain another day of life. Food is a very simple thing, but because it's so simple, it usually goes over your head. And what we're going to do is shed a little bit of light upon it so we could expand on this topic and find out a little bit more about the benefits of what you eat, what it does to your body. And there'll be two parts to this video. We're going to do a little tap into the water and get our feet wet. And on my other channel, Jameel Jelani Thomas, you'll see that I speak a little bit more in depth in the video. So we'll get started right now, I'll let you know. So when it comes to food, what I've learned is that in abstract, food is actually anything that you ingest. Most people don't know that things get ingested into us in all kinds of ways, So in the simplest sense, it's what you put in your mouth. It means what you eat. What you hear is also what you ingest through your ears. What you see through your eyes is what you ingest through your eyes, and they all have different effects on you. Further in the video, I'll get a lot more into that, but to keep it real simple, we're going to keep it on the food that we eat. So, you ever heard that saying, you are what you eat? It could be no further from the truth. Literally everything you put in your body, it has an effect, When it comes to different things in life, you can learn a lot when you watch patterns. When it comes to patterns, it could be 1, 2, 3, same behaviors, and they have an ending result. Usually it's the same, like your mom or somebody might tell you, don't hang out with that person because they might steer you down the wrong road. You might see friends that will hang out with that person and it ends up the same. That's kind of a far example, but it's the same thing. If you continue to do the same behaviors, it has the same results. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. I'm talking about awareness here. If you knew in detail what you were actually putting inside your body, you would most likely think twice about it. My point is here, speaking in a broader perspective, is that we do actually live in the age of information. You can find a lot of information online. I'm just here to deliver it to you and let you know to start thinking about it. Now again, food is very important in the type of food. When we were placed here on earth, food was also placed here as well. This type of food that I speak of were the fruits, the vegetables, the nuts, the herbs, things that nowadays we really don't get enough of it, When you go to your corner store, everything's got these labels, so these bright colors, they're trying to sell it to you, It's really just something to think about, something to open your mind to, something to realize maybe, if that's something you want to do. So what I'm really pointing at is to remember and notice, pay attention that Mother Nature makes no mistakes. When we were born and when the food was placed, it was our natural right to eat natural food and to do natural things, For instance, and one natural thing that happens when we're born is our mothers feed us with breast milk, just like the animals do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get into some examples of some natural food and how they could support your health and nutrition and overall, feeling better and stuff like that, in terms of, when you're doing exercise, even everyday regular things. So for instance, people go on fruit diets, they eat salads, things that I've done that I've changed, when it comes to when I'm eating or if I'm not eating. I might eat fruits for the whole day. It could be any type of fruit. A lot of them are water-based, and they're very good for a lot of energy, quick recovery, and of course weight loss. Because at a time in the past, I used to be overweight, so fruits and vegetables helped a lot. And a lot of the same ones, you don't really have to go too crazy with it. You could eat the same thing. When it comes, maybe just eating lettuce, tomatoes with onions, with some cucumbers in it. You can do that all the time. It helps. It works. Um, and drink teas. Very simple stuff like that. It's just doing stuff that we know is beneficial for us. When we start to do it more often, we start to see how it works for us. And when you tie it in with like where I'm at right now in my life, when I do get my my gains and stuff like that when it comes to exercise. Before, with my old diet, I would still eat certain things. I'm currently a vegetarian. I use a lot of different methods to improve my health and nutrition. So, but one of the main ones, like I said, is incorporating natural, easy, come to mind foods and fruits, vegetables. So some examples of what I would call unnatural food and things I used to eat. It would stem from junk food, processed foods, sodas. You know how much sugar is inside of one can of soda? I'm not even gonna get into that right now. You should probably know by now. But it started with awareness, like I said earlier. I had to cut down and become aware of every last thing I ingested into my body. Because for one, you're probably here watching this video because you care about yourself to some degree. You want some kind of change. And change is important. They got a saying, it's called, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So when it comes down to wanting your change, you got to open your eyes up and be open to new things, new horizons. So that's what I started doing with the unnatural food. I was getting tired of how I felt. And I knew better. I knew like, okay, this, if I have it all the time, it's not going to be good. It's going to give me diabetes or something. I don't know if I eat this, it's going to, obviously, things can give me cancer. It could give high blood pressure if you do too much salt. So, testing new things, I make sure instead of drinking a soda with something, I drink some water or try to drink some juice. Fruit juice, preferably 100%. And everything happens in steps, and it happens gradually. Nothing's going to happen overnight. When you try to change things too drastically, it usually ends in a problem. So I recommend, like I said, to be aware, realize and see what you're eating every day and know to yourself that, okay, this is bread. For instance, bread, it's a carb. It fills me up, and when it breaks down, it turns into a sugar, things like that. So once you realize the full story, you're like, okay, am I still going to eat bread that turns into sugar? Am I still going to eat this candy? Am I still going to drink soda with 2 ounces of sugar in it? You can't do it all the time. So basically the point is be aware, break it down slowly, and add in the natural food. And these are the ways we can start to move forward in life and get some progression, because that's what I did, and it's really, really helping a lot. So guys, if we look at the pattern here, if we follow what is natural, we'll have an outcome in life that's of our natural existence. It is our natural right. One thing I noticed in life, when I've studied eating habits and eating patterns, people that live to 100 years old or over, they usually eat the same things. And I've also noticed people that live to about 50 years old, 60 years old, again, they eat the same things. I remember I heard about a 90-year-old couple, and my father actually went to go speak to them and ask them, because they look very healthy, very happy. He asked them, what is your secret to long living? And what they said was that before every meal, they would eat a soup. If you know one thing about soups, it's very great for your digestion, the combination of it, of the food. It's also a wet meal, and at the temperature of it, it's always hot or warm. And that combination is very good for our digestive system. When I looked into people there was a man that was 114 years old. He lived on an alkaline diet. So majority of people, whether they know it or not, they usually eat the same foods, no meat. But if they do eat meat, they might eat like salmon. Usually it's the same thing. Not just fish, they might just eat salmon and that's it. And they eat food in moderation. Not too much, not too little. It's always the same thing. Very simple meal every single day. And they usually follow what you'll call a natural eating diet. People that don't live too long, I've noticed they might eat things that are very different, and they eat in a different kind of way. And there's another saying as well. People, you can either you're living to eat or you eat to live. And it's important to remember that you're here to eat to live, not to live to eat, because there's a very big difference there. The most important part of this video is awareness, like I said before. So what we're doing now is we're making sure that we know to eat the right things for overall health, overall fitness, energy. You don't want to wait till it's too late. You know, it's one thing that you find out from your doctor that you have a disease that you have to deal with, and then you want to go and change what you're eating. The most important practices and behaviors happen in prevention. It happens in prevention for if you're riding a bike. It happens in prevention if you're driving a car, making sure you're wearing your seatbelt. So even when you're eating food, a very simple thing that goes over our head every day, you want to kind of have defensive eating or prevention, meaning you're going to eat foods that's going to strengthen your body, strengthen your immune system, things that's going to prevent any disease in your body, you know, and you're going to do this knowingly, do it in a loving way, and take care of yourself, because as we go further in our life, we only age more. We don't go back and get younger. So it's important to start and practice these behaviors now if you do want to live to 100 years old, because it's very possible. People do it all the time. And the reason why I could come out and explain this information is for people, like I said, people that I see that live a long time. They eat the same things. They eat natural food. They keep it very simple. And if you do this type of eating, you could be 70, 80 years old doing pull-ups, muscle-ups in the park, you know, like a lot of things that most average people won't be able to do, but it's things that we all should be doing. It's just we forget about it, you know, and get sidetracked and stuff like that. So I'm just here to give you guys a reminder, you know, and let you guys remember to, you know, keep these type of things in mind, okay, guys? So guys, if you like this video, please subscribe. And if you want to find out how I survive by eating only 4 times a week, watch this video here.